I'm not missing this. I will wait upon you, God. The atmosphere changes the moment you enter the room. My heart's desire is to encounter you. You're falling like the rain, refreshing me again. Come and wash over me. Come and wash over me. I'll never be the same, and forever I am changed. Come and wash over me. Come and wash over me. My heart it longs, my soul it thirsts. Yes, Lord. Only you will satisfy. Atmosphere changes the moment you enter the room. My heart's desire is to encounter you. Reach out to Jesus today. You're falling like the rain, refreshing me again. Come and wash over me. Come and wash over me. I'll never be the same. Forever I am changed. Come and wash over me. Come and wash over me. Oh, wash over me. Wash over Even in the driest place, your presence like the summer rain. My soul comes alive again. My heart is full to dream again. Even in a moment here, everything becomes so clear. You're the God of miracles, and your presence is so powerful. Even in the driest place, presence like the summer rain. Soul comes alive again. My heart is full to dream again. Even in a moment here, everything becomes so clear. You're the God of miracles. Your presence is so powerful. You're falling like the rain, refreshing me again. Come and wash over me, and come and wash over. I'll never be the same. Forever I am changed. Come and wash over. Come and wash over. Even in the driest place, your presence like the summer rain comes alive again. wash over. 'Cause here with you I am. Jesus, you're all I need. Come and wash over me. 'Cause here with you I am. Jesus, you're all I need. Come and wash over me. 'Cause here with you I am. Jesus, you're all I need. Come and wash over me. 'Cause here with you I am free. Jesus, you're all I need.
If you're a student, if you haven't figured out what you want to do in life, maybe like, my parents want me to be a nurse, or I want to be this, and you really haven't figured that out, I just want to say, I invite you to lean in today. If you're a young adult and you're figuring out, I have a job, I have a career, I have what it's going, I just don't know if this is where I really want to be. I invite you to lean in. If you're retired or you're about to retire and you're thinking, okay, I'm about to retire, what am I going to do when I retire? Oh, this is the time to kind of say, God, I really want to know this. Have you ever had a day, because I've had you ever had the day when you were so busy all day, and at the end of the day, you sat down and you wondered, what just happened? And you're thinking, what have I accomplished today? I mean, it seems like you were so busy running around doing errands, but then at the end of the day, you sat down and you think, have I really accomplished something? Now imagine doing that with your entire life. You can have a full calendar and have a very empty soul. And that's what I hear a lot from a lot of students, a lot of young adults, a lot of adults. Like, I feel like I'm so busy, but why do I feel like my soul is so empty? You can be successful and still feel insignificant. We hear this a lot. We read it a lot from all the celebrities, all those people who thought like, oh, they're so successful, and yet they feel so insignificant. You can make a living and never discover why you're alive. You can be moving fast and still be moving in the wrong direction. And maybe one of the greatest tragedies in life is not really dying young. 2 weeks ago, we had a celebration of life for a guy who was 39 years old. Very handsome, very, very successful, had his own business at 39, was able to run his business. But he passed away at 39, suddenly, just like that. And I'm thinking, God, what? Why? But I believe the greatest tragedy is not dying young. It is living long and never discovering your why. Why God gave you your life. Because eventually, whether you are 17, you are 70, whether you're a skeptic or a believer, successful or struggling, we all wrestle with the same question. Some of us verbalize this, some of us think about it at night. We reflect on this question, and that question is, why am I here? What does my life really matter? And what am I supposed to do with the time that I've been given? See, our culture has plenty of answers for us. Answers like, follow your heart, find your passion, build your brand, chase success, live your truth. We've all heard that, especially for those of us who are so immersed in community, so immersed in social media. Oh, we hear this a lot. But what if purpose isn't something that you create? What if purpose is something that you actually discover? Ephesians 2:10 make this very extraordinary claim that Paul wrote. He said, God saved you by his grace when you believed. And you cannot take credit for this because it is a gift from God. Salvation is not a reward for all the good things that you have done, so none of us can boast about it. And then he gives this really, really powerful verse. He said, for we are God's masterpiece. He has created us anew in Christ Jesus so we can do good work, good things he had planned for us long ago. Did you catch that last phrase? Before you even started in this world, before you even started planning your life, God had already a purpose for your life. You were not an accident in this world occupying space. You were not merely here to make money and pay bills and raise kids, retire, and eventually die. You were planned for more than yourself. We don't hear this so much because we live in a culture that it's all about us. What I want, what I do, my plans, what I want to do in my life. And we rarely hear things like, you were never just supposed to be about you. You were planted for more than yourself. So today I want to invite you to wrestle with one question. What if the life that you are looking for and you've been chasing for begins when you discover the very purpose you were created for? For some of us, that's kind of uncomfortable because we think we already have a life that we've been chasing and we're so sure about it. But what if you climb this ladder of success only to find out that the ladder is leaning on the wrong wall? Today we are beginning a series called Rooted in Purpose. You were planted for more than yourself. And I invite you, especially if you're a young adult, you're a student, you're a young adult. Not that I'm discounting all the adults. I always said, someone told me, Pastor Phoebe, I am 70 years old. And this message this morning has brought an awakening to me because I'm retired and I'm having a great life. But now you're right, there is something inside me that says, is this it? And so some of you might be sitting here and thinking that. Now, to be rooted in purpose means that your identity is anchored in the one who created you. This phone will never be able to define himself or itself. I needed to go to Apple. I needed to go to Steve Jobs. I needed to find out who created this, and then I can know what this phone, this technology is for. And you know the problem with us is many of us have been looking and saying, what am I here for? And then psychology, sociology, someone say, look inside yourself to find out who you are. No. And I think that's what I've been doing all these years, looking inside ourselves. And the more we look inside ourselves, the more depressed we become. Because we see all our brokenness, we see all the things that my parents should have done this to me, but they didn't. Oh, my school should have done this to me, but it didn't. And so this is my product. This is who I am today. You see, to be rooted in purpose means that your identity is anchored in the one who created you. Your priorities are aligned with what matters to him, and your life is available for his work in this world. It does not mean that you know all the details of your future. It means, though, you know basically who you belong to. what kind of person He is forming for you to become, and who your life is meant to bless. Don't miss those 3 points. I might have said that really fast, but I invite you to go home and really process that. If you're a skeptic, perhaps you're not convinced that God has a purpose for your life. I am not asking you to pretend. I am asking you to consider this. What if the ache for meaning inside you is not an accident? What if your hunger for significance is evidence that you were made for someone and for something? If you're a seeker, you sense that success alone cannot satisfy your soul. Today, God may be drawing you closer, not merely to another religion, not to another gathering, not to a church, but Jesus offers the question, come to me. You've tried everything. How about coming to me? If you're a drifter, perhaps you once were close to God, but somewhere along the way you became distracted. You became disappointed. You got tired. You got hurt. You have not necessarily stopped believing in God. You have simply stopped moving intentionally. Today may be your wake-up call. If you're a discouraged believer, maybe life have not unfolded the way you prayed for. If you've been in your spiritual journey for quite some time and you're serious, you know that you prayed for things that you've never accepted. And you wonder whether your age, your failure, your illness, your loss, or your delayed dream has actually disqualified you. And you're thinking, God, you're answering everybody's prayer. Why can't you come through for me? And you're there, you're believing, you sit, you come and worship, you raise your hands, you sit down, you listen to sermons like this. But deep inside you, there's a coldness. I call it those resentments that we do not express, but it's there and it sits. And when someone gets blessed, we'll look at them and you look at God and say, when is my time coming? I want to come to you today and say this. If you are still breathing, God is not finished with you. Your story is not done. And if you are a rooted believer, this message is not a permission to become comfortable. Oh, yes, I'm so grounded. I'm so rooted. God answers my prayer. I know the Bible back to back. See, deep roots are not merely for surviving the storm. And friends, can I say this? I'm so proud. I'm so blessed to have members in our church who are so rooted. Some of them have gone through a storm. Some of them are going through a storm, but man, their faith in God is amazing. I looked at them and I said, God, would you give me that kind of faith when I go to the storm? But friends, deep roots are not merely for surviving a storm. They are for producing fruit. God did not root you to stabilize you only. He rooted you so that your life could nourish somebody else. Here's the big idea. You were created by God, rescued by grace, and planted in this moment to walk in the purpose that He has prepared for you. Now, before we discuss how to become rooted, we need to face the cause of living without any purpose, without purpose. And some of us will say, oh, that's my life. First of all, you don't have any purpose. Life becomes very busy, but very empty. Activity gives the appearance of progress, but activity is not the same as meaning and significance. You can spend your strength maintaining things that do not matter and have nothing left for the assignment that does matter in life. Second is this. Comparison replaces calling if you don't have any purpose. When you do not know why you are here, you borrow someone else's definition of success. Their platform makes you feel invisible. Their progress makes you feel you're falling behind. And their season makes you resent your own season. That's what happens if you don't have a purpose. Third is comfort becomes your goal, right? Everybody wants to be, hey, I don't want to be inconvenienced. I want what's faster, what's easier. Now, without a God-given purpose, we organize our life trying to avoid inconvenience. So we avoid anything that costs us, that stretches us, that inconveniences us, or requires sacrifice from us. We choose the easy path over the meaningful path. And that's probably, we live in a generation today that is so empty, that is so lost. The first thing we ask is, how long does it take? Oh, this is going to, you want to be this? And the first question we ask, how long does it take? How much is it going to cost? Is it hard? I'd like you to think about this. Nearly everything that matters in life requires sacrifice. Raising children, building a marriage, serving people, pursuing justice, developing character, and following Jesus, all those requires sacrifice. Fourth is this: if you don't know your purpose, pain is going to feel pointless. Suffering is painful already when you already know your purpose, but it does not get to be meaningless. When you see a doctor and say, honey, you got cancer in your stomach, we got to operate, take it out. You submit to that. It's going to be very painful, but you submit. Why? It's going to make you better. You know that this pain of surgery has a purpose. Now, unfortunately, today many people are in pain. And they resent the pain. They're angry about the pain. They want the pain to be removed. And they want life to change. And I would always ask, have you considered, could it be possible that this pain has a purpose? Oh, this pain doesn't have a purpose. It's just making me miserable all my life. After the first session, someone came to me and said, Pastor Phoebe, this guy is like 86 years old, and told me, the pain I have in my life right now I know the purpose. It drove me closer to God. If you don't know your purpose, you'll drift too. See, drift is a movement without intention. No one drifts through life and succeed. No, every move is intentional. No one drifts towards spiritual maturity, healthy relationship, a career, or mission. No one drifts. And the truth of the matter is, we live in a culture today that we love to drift. We follow trends. That's why what's trending. I can't even believe there's a thing that's like, what's trending? I'm like, what's that? Oh, that means what's really in today. You don't have a purpose, you're going to drift through life. What you do not decide for yourself, time is going to decide for you. But when you are rooted in purpose, guess what? Priorities become clearer. You can say no without feeling guilty because you have a greater yes. You can endure difficult season because your life is not attached to something larger than comfort. Your life is attached to something larger than comfort. And here's the big one. When you know your purpose, you can actually celebrate a person's success, another person's success, because their calling and their success is never a threat for you. And I think this is what we struggle with because we have social media. Oh, she graduated in 3 years. Oh, she just bought this. Oh, she got promoted. And here you are, you're like, am I falling behind? Some of our team went to GLS this week, Global Leadership Summit. I didn't go this year. I always go every year, but I was going online and I was reading and following the captions of, like, the recap of what had happened. And one of the professors in Harvard said, you know why we're such a sick and sad and lonely culture today? It's because of social media. Everybody posts something that's beautiful about their life, and here you are, you're like, I'm not getting promoted. So you spiral down. See, when you have a purpose, you can serve in hidden places because applause is not your source of inspiration. So how do we become rooted in purpose? Our text gives us 3 movements. First of all, Paul said, you have to receive your identity not from the world, not from your family, not from anybody else. You need to receive your identity from God. Purpose begins with whose you are, not merely what you do. And here's how Paul described it. For we are God's what? Masterpiece. Do you know what a masterpiece is? If you're in the arts, you know this, right? Before you can understand what you were made to do, you have to understand who you were made to be first. And I believe that's the reason why many of us are so frustrated in life. We're doing things because someone advised us, and you're doing it, and now you're there. And then you're doing it for 10 years, and after 10 years, like, I can't do this for a lifetime. Notice that Apostle Paul talks about knowing your identity first before activity. God tells you who you are before he tells you what he called you to do. And that matters in every generation because we're constantly being told to build our identity around something else. For teenager, it may be, how many people like you? Do I fit in? For a young adult, probably, it's, what am I accomplishing? Am I falling behind? For someone in middle life, does my career really matter? My income, does it prove that I really matter in this world? And for someone who is older, maybe you're in retirement age, now that your role has changed, the kids are gone, maybe you're in retirement, the question now is, do I still have a purpose? What do I do? See, the gospel, the Bible says your identity is not something you achieve. It is something that you receive. You are not your job, students. You are not your titles. You are not your mistake. You are not your relationship status. You are not your followers, your failures, your achievement, or other people's opinion. You are God's masterpiece. Someone in the first service was like, oh, that was such a nice reminder. I don't look like a masterpiece. We see this in the book of Psalms. God saw you before the world came about. That always blew my mind away, right? You read that. It says, before God created this world, he already saw you. Before your parents got together, he already saw you. Who thinks like that? And then it says, he knitted you together in your mother's womb. Do you know what it means to knit something? You don't say, I need you. No. It takes thought. It takes creativity. It takes time. Slowly but surely. You think about the design. And then in the book of Psalms, it also says, in Jeremiah, say, he saw every moment while you were being formed in your mother's womb. Wow. That really changed and shifted how I saw myself when I was growing. And when you belong to Christ, your deepest identity is rooted in what God says about you, not what anybody says about you. And that is why purpose begins with who you are, not merely with what you do. When I ask people, so what do you think your purpose is? Oh, I work in the hospital. I'm a nurse. I'm a med tech. Or what do you do? What's your purpose? Oh, I work in a electronic company in this way. I'm like, no, that's not your purpose. That's what your job is. That could be your profession, but that's not your purpose. That means your identity begins with your Creator, not your resume. That's your purpose. Before God talks about your work, what you're supposed to do, He has prepared for you. He wants to remind you who you belong to first. And students, young adult, can I say that is so important because we all want approval. When you do something at work and your boss had this face and you can tell he wasn't too happy about it, you walk out of that meeting and you're like, man, I guess I'm really suck. I'm bad. And that's why God says you need to remember who you are first and who you belong to. Identity, purpose, and activity. When I do not know who I am, I will use what I do to prove that I matter. And if you go that route, I promise you this, it is exhausting. Because you will always find someone better than you. But when I know who I am, I don't have to perform for significance. I can live and serve from significance. I am doing this because I know who I belong to and I know what I'm capable of doing. That I'm going to do this so I prove that I'm good. See, the key truth is this. If you don't know who you are, you will spend all your life trying to prove your worth. And that, my friend, will lead to burnout. But when your identity is rooted in God, you can serve from acceptance instead of striving for acceptance. If you get those two statements, I promise you this. God can start His awesome work in your life. Your job may change. Your title may disappear. Your children are going to grow up and leave you one of these days. Your strength may change. I was just talking to somebody, Pastor Philip, I'm not as strong as I thought I was 10 years ago. The platform may change and may pass to someone else. Now, if your identity is rooted in a role, you will lose yourself when your role changes. But if your identity is rooted in Christ, you can enter a new season in your life without losing your soul. Some of you needed to hear that. And this is the first root. Settle your identity in God. Build on this. I am created by God. I am loved by God. I am rescued by grace. And I belong to Jesus. And my life is His. For the skeptic who is here, perhaps your first step is an honest prayer. God, if you are real, God, show me who you are. And why am I here? See, honest seeking does not intimidate God and does not threaten God. I love to ask questions. I love to think. So maybe that's you. For the believer, the question is more direct. Hear me out here. For those of you who are followers already, have you received Jesus Christ as Savior, but you have resisted Him as Lord of your life? You want forgiveness, but you still take complete ownership of your life. But I want to tell you something. You want to know purpose? Purpose begins when control ends. When you say, God, I give you control of my life. Here's the truth. Purpose is not something you invent to make yourself important. Purpose is something you receive from God and live out, basically, for the good of others. For some of you, that's new. That's a new concept. Because everything, my job is me, my income is mine, I'm going to be successful. When identity is settled, we're finally free to face the next question. Where is God asking me to live out this purpose? So you need to recognize the assignment in your present season. Not when you graduate, not when you retire. I love what Apostle Paul said. He has created us anew in Christ Jesus so we can do the good things He planned for long ago, before you showed up. God is already a project for you. God is an assignment for you. Now think about this. God not only prepared you, He prepared the things for you to do. There are good works, people, opportunities, needs, conversations, and moments of obedience that God has placed along the path of your life. And sometimes we miss those purpose because we are looking for something bigger, later, or somewhere else. We think, when I graduate, when I get married, when I get this new job, when the kids are all grown up, when I retire, when then I'll discover what God wants to do in my life. But friends, can I say this? Purpose is not only about your future destination. Purpose is also about your present assignment. There's a lady, it's actually a queen. I'm not going to talk much about her. You can read her story in the Old Testament. She became queen. You know, there's a lot of beauty pageants going on today. She became queen. And she thought that was all she was going to play, be a beautiful queen to serve the king, be the mascot of the palace, be the muse of the palace. But in Esther chapter 4, verse 14, it says, who knows if perhaps you were made queen for just such a time as this. Queen Esther discovered that her position of going into the palace, winning that beauty contest, being the queen, was connected to someone else's deliverance, a nation's deliverance. She had no idea. All she thought was she's going to be a queen. She wasn't in that season simply for her comfort. God already knew, I need you to go into the king. I need you to be a queen to save a nation. God wanted to use her influence for others. So whether you are 16, whether you are 76, you're a student, a parent, a professional, a retiree, a seeker, instead of God, when are you going to take me somewhere better? Ask God, what do you want to do through me where I am right now? My goodness, some of you hate your jobs. Some of you hate the place where you are in right now. What if you pray that prayer? God, what do you want to do through me right now where I am? Look at what's in your hand. Look at who's in front of you. And look at the needs that you can meet. Then you take your next step of obedience. Here's the key truth. Your present season may not be your permanent destination, but it can still be a purposeful season. I'll say that again. Your present season may not be your permanent season or your permanent destination, but it can still be a purposeful season. Don't become so focused on what's next that you miss what God is doing today in your life. I can't wait till I graduate. I can't wait till I get married. I can't wait. God says, hold off. Roots grow before fruits shows. For those of you who know gardening, you know this. If there's no fruits in the tree, that means the roots haven't gone down. They're not deep enough. Sometimes God is developing character in you before He gives you influence. Perhaps God is developing compassion before He leads you back in ministry or in ministry. Perhaps God is developing humility before He can entrust you with authority. See, many people miss God's purpose because they expect it to arrive with a spotlight. We imagine purpose to be dramatic. Oh, a public presentation. Impressive. We think it will come with a title, a microphone, a large audience, or a moment when everything suddenly happens. Oh, this is my purpose. Yay. And some of us are waiting for that. But in Scripture, folks, purpose begins in the ordinary places, in the ordinary setups of life. David was tending sheep when he learned what courage and worship really is. Peter was working with fishing nets when Jesus called him. Moses was watching sheep when he saw the burning bush. Esther was living inside a very complicated culture inside the palace when her moment of courage arrived. Can I say this? Do not despise the place where God has placed you at this moment. Maybe nobody knows you. Maybe like, oh, I'm so ready. God, use me. I'm so ready. And God says, I will. But I'm going to put you on the shelf for now. See, the present season may not be your final destination, but it can still be your current assignment. Why are you in that neighborhood? Why are you in that hospital? Why are you working there? Why has God entrusted you, your children? Why have you survived what you survived? Why do you understand that particular kind of pain and someone else could not understand it? Why are you part of People's Church? Why are you here today? See, we often ask God to move us while He is asking us to notice where we are at the moment. Somebody say, I do not know my purpose in life. Can I say this? Your specific purpose is often found in how God has shaped you. Even believers, even people who's been in church for years could not figure this out. God did not mass produce you. He intentionally formed you with a unique combination of gifts, of passion, abilities, and personality and experience that nobody else have. Psalms 139 says, I am fearfully and wonderfully made. And that is literal. Think of these 5 elements. There are 5 elements that makes you you. 1, God's spiritual gift, the gift that He's given you. And many people have not discovered that gift. Even leaders and pastors have not discovered that gift. And it's not a secret. It's that you need to want it. You want to find out. And then 8 is your passion, your heart, right? What are you passionate about? What moves you? What burdens you? What excites you? What even breaks your heart? And then your abilities, right? What are you naturally good at? Organizing, creating, building, eating, communicating. See, your abilities are tools that God can use for His purpose in your life. And then P, personality. Are you outgoing? Are you reflective? Are you a visionary? Are you detail-oriented? Do you thrive with people, around people, or are you kind of like the behind-the-scene person? Friends, God does not need you to be someone else to fulfill His purpose. He wants you to be you. And then E is experiences. This includes your victories and your wounds and your success and your failures and your opportunities and your disappointment. God can redeem what you've been through and use it to minister to someone going through what you have already survived. If you put those elements together, you know what it spells? S-H-A-P-E, shape. Here's the challenge I'd like to give you this morning. Stop comparing your shape to somebody else's assignment. Don't do that. You're going to be so frustrated. So instead of only asking God, what is my purpose, God? Perhaps the question you need to ask yourself is, God, why did you give me such a passion for this? God, why did you give me this gift? Why did you give me this heart, this ability, and this personality? Why, God? Why did you take me to that experience? And how do you want me to redeem my experience for your glory and someone else's good? Your purpose, students, may already be leaving clues in the way that God has shaped you. Paul reminds us, whatever you do, do it for the Lord. Whatever you do, work with it with a whole heart, as though you're working for Jesus, whatever you do. Now, I'd like to say this. Purpose is not limited to sacred-looking activities. When we think about purpose, you think, oh, I have to be a pastor, I have to work in the church. No, that is not your purpose. If that is not your purpose, you should not do that. Any honest task that you do that is surrendered to Jesus can become an act of worship and love. Let me make this practical. To recognize your present assignment, ask yourself, what is in my hand? What ability, what resources, what experiences and opportunities do I have? Second, who is in front of me? Purpose is nearly always connected to people, not merely personal achievement. And then ask yourself this question, what need can I meet today? I don't have $1 million, but I can buy lunch for somebody. You cannot solve every problem, but you can we can respond to one that God keeps placing in your heart. Third question you need to ask is, what is my next act of obedience? What is that for you? Think about the seed. We were talking about seeds in the last few months. A seed does not look like a forest. If you judge it only by its current appearance, you will underestimate what that seed can become. But when it is planted, it is watered and given time, that seed can turn into a forest. Some of you are frustrated right now because your purpose still looks like a seed. And you're thinking, oh, no platform, no visible fruit, no immediate result. But roots grow before fruit show. Here's what I'll say. Do not dig up in doubt what you have planted in faith. Waiting is not a wasted time. In God's hand, waiting is actually preparation. I don't know who needs to hear this, but I'd like to say this. Your present chapter is not the whole story. So be faithful where you are. Serve where you are right now. Maybe serve your husband, your family, your workplace. Purpose, listen, prepare, and move. And once we recognize our assignment, the final movement now is this. You need to release your life for the good of others. Like, what? What about me? You were planted for more than yourself. Roots are not the final product, friends. Fruit is. A tree does not eat its own fruit. The fruit is always for somebody else. The root sustains the tree, but the fruit is for others. It blesses others. And students, that is exactly the picture of a life that is rooted in purpose. God gives you the gifts, not just for you. God gives you the influence, not just for you. God gives you the resources, not just for you. God gives you experiences, not just for you. And God even redeemed your pain so that someday what He brought you through can become hope for someone else. Some of you need to hear that. Jesus modeled the ultimate purpose-driven life, and He released His life to others. Our culture says to us, find yourself, build yourself, promote yourself, protect your peace, gain everything that you came to yourself. You know what Jesus says? Deny yourself. Follow me. Take up your cross. And then He gave this very, very uncomfortable statement. If you want to find your life, give it away. Because purpose isn't ultimately about becoming the center of the story. It is about being useful to the author of the story. And this changes the question we ask. Instead of asking, what can I accomplish? We ask, who is better because God put me in their life? Instead of saying, how successful can I become? We start asking, how much fruit can my life produce so that I can help others? Instead of asking, I want to make a name for myself, will people remember me? We ask, will people know Jesus because of how I lived? Here's a key truth I'd like to leave you. Your purpose is not measured merely by what you achieve, but by what God produces through you for the good of others. I'll say that again. I'll say it very slowly. I invite you to close your eyes and hear this out. Your purpose is not measured merely by what you achieve, but by what God produces through you for the good of others. Because roots go deep. Roots that go deep should eventually produce fruit that reaches everybody. And the greatest evidence that you are rooted in purpose may not be how much you have accumulated, but how much of your life you have released for the good of others. So before we rush into the next part and the close part of our session this morning, purpose is too important to admire and then ignore. So I'm going to throw in some questions, and I invite you to a moment of reflection. Ask yourself this question: what has been defining my identity? God's grace or my performance and other people's approval? Where have I been so busy but not truly purposeful? What present season and responsibility or relationship have I been overlooking while waiting for something bigger? Who is supposed to receive fruit from what God has already placed in me? And finally, ask this question: what is one act of obedience that I already know God has been asking me to take, but I keep ignoring it? There are several people I want to invite you to respond this morning. First of all, some of you have built a life without God at the center. You may have accomplishments, you have relationship and plans, but your soul still feels disconnected to your Creator, to God, to Jesus Christ. Christianity does not begin with you promising to become a better person. We can't be a better person. We try. And I guess that's why a lot of people walked out. A lot of people say, I'm tired. I tried. Christianity does not begin by you promising to become a better person. It begins with receiving what Jesus has already done for you. The verse that Paul wrote, he said, hey, salvation is not a reward for good people. It is a gift for people willing to trust God. You do not have to solve every question today, but you can take an honest step. You can say, Jesus, I need you. Forgive me. Lead me. Now, if you are a skeptic, you are welcome here. We always say that you do not have to believe to belong, and you do not have to fake certainty either. But if something in you is saying, I want to know more about this real Jesus, I urge you to respond quietly to that invitation. Begin the journey. Speak with one of us who are here. Speak with someone who knows the Bible. Speak with someone you trust and ask those questions and let them talk to you. Perhaps it begins there. Some of you are a believer, but you have drifted. You have been surviving, but you are not surrendered. You've been attending, but you're not engaged. You're consuming and consuming, but you haven't done your part. God is not condemning and is shaping you. He's simply asking you to come home and rest in Him. Today, your response to that is, Jesus, would you root me again? Because I kind of get uprooted. Realign my priorities and restore my love. Some of you are discouraged and you thought your opportunity has passed. You interpreted delay as rejection and pain as disqualification. Today, receive this truth. God is not done with your story. Your next step may look smaller than the dream you once carried and the ones you dreamed about, but a small surrendered step can open a new chapter in your life. Finally, some of you are rooted believers. I'll say this. You need a fresh commissioning. God has nourished you. He has taught you, has healed you, has blessed you, and strengthened you. Now He is asking you, who will receive the fruit that I have given you? This is not the season to protect everything that God has placed in your life. It's time to mentor. It's time to serve. It's time to invite. It's time to speak. It's time to build, and it's time to go. If your response to that is, Lord, I'm ready for that. Here I am. I do not know the details, God, but my answer is yes. Our worship team is going to sing one song. And as you answer these questions in your mind and you reflect throughout the song, you're welcome to stand. And when you stand, I know some of you are uncomfortable raising your hand. That's fine. Whatever you want to do. But for those of you who are not, I invite you to stand and raise your hands in a way that is real to you, as a sign of saying, God, I'm ready for your purpose in my life. So at this moment, remain in an attitude of quietness and reflection. And as they sing this song, throughout the song, if you say, God, I'm ready for my purpose, stand in your own pace.
With no reservation, and you're not looking for perfection, and there's no need in me pretending, and I'll give you everything, I'll give you everything, and you deserve my full attention. And nothing less than my devotion. Speak to me and I will listen, and I'll give you everything, I'll give you everything. Oh, 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 you can have my heart, you can have my heart. My heart is yours forever.